Here's Rodders!
Hey guys, welcome along to a new episode of Here's Rodders Reviews. I'm your host, Rodney Stewart. We're getting into Transformers Season 2. This episode is the Golden Lagoon and an environmental episode hidden below a lot of action in this. And Beachcomber at the beginning of the episode, after Perceptor on the beach with Warpath and a few other Autobots, find a rock that has traces of gold and silver in it, so that they're investigating, and they're attacked by Decepticons. Frost, Dirge, I believe is the other one, and Blitzwing, one of my favourite Decepticons, Trouble Changer. During the fight, Beachcomber ends up away from the fight. He goes through like a cave entrance and he comes out into this beautiful scenery, and it's like a Disney cartoon moment where all the birds and animals come over, and the birds land on him and he's trying to speak to them and whatnot, and he has a nice little Disney moment with the animals. And he notices this lagoon that's almost full of liquid gold in there, and he goes over to investigate, and he puts his hand in, and when he brings the hand out, it's covered in gold, and he goes, Electrum. So this is something that he doesn't want anyone to find out about, and he does keep a secret throughout the entire episode, not just from the Decepticons but from the Autobots as well, and it's never revealed to any other character that he knew anything about this. But he tries to get out back to the fight to try and keep the Golden Lagoon a secret, but Frost finds it, and he realises straight away what it is, and he dives into the lagoon, and he emerges completely from head to toe covered in this stuff. And basically what it does is it makes you immune to absolutely anything, like laser blasts, you name it. You're just invulnerable while you're encased in this Electrum. So he pretty much finishes off the small band of Autobots that they're already fighting, and takes Seaspray and Perceptor captive and takes him back to Decepticon headquarters. And the other Autobots head off for help, and they come across Sunstreaker and Mirage, a few other of the Autobots, and get their help to come after the Decepticons. Anyway, Frost tells Megatron what's happening, and Megatron, the rest of the Decepticons, get to the Golden Lagoon and encase themselves in this Electrum, and they all become invulnerable, and they start a series of attacks against the Autobots, including Omega Supreme, who for probably the first time ever they actually get the upper hand on, defeat him. Omega Supreme, giant robot compared to the rest of them, transforms into this huge space rocket, but he's like one of the Cybertron defender robots, like one of the big Sentinel robots, and he gets defeated. And of course this news gets back to Optimus Prime and Autobot headquarters, and no one can really understand what's going on here. But at this point in the episode, the only person that could have revealed the secret of the Electrum has also been captured. Beachcomber is now in the hands of the Decepticons as well. So there's him, Seaspray, Perceptor, they're in there, in the Autobot, the Decepticon ship at the bottom of the ocean as prisoners. But they do manage to escape. During the escape attempt, it comes out through Teletran 1, who's been, working on the information from the battles, and that comes up with the idea Electrum is what's behind this. So Optimus Prime sends out survey parties to try and find this Electrum, and they do eventually get it, just as the Decepticons start their final assault on Autobot headquarters. But they've been tricked by the Autobots. They realise what they're fighting is a bunch of automated drones, and they realise the entire Autobot base is empty, and Megatron works it out straight away, get to the Golden Lagoon. So they get there just in time to see Optimus Prime, the rest of the Autobots, all standing waiting for them. They're completely gold from head to toe, and out of the lagoon comes Omega Supreme as well, completely encased in this Electrum. And now both sides are 100% equal. No matter how many shots are fired at this point, nobody on either the Autobot or the Decepticon side are going to take any damage during this. But, and this is where the environmental part of the story really starts to kick in. Every time a blast hits one of the Transformers, it's not really absorbed, but it's deflected. So during the fight, there's hundreds of thousands of laser shots hitting Autobots and Decepticons, and each one is ricocheting out and destroying tree life and plant life all around this lagoon. And you see the little animals that Beachcomber was playing with at the beginning of the episode. They're all running, hiding, looking for cover, and everything is just getting decimated in the fight that's going on between the Autobots and the Decepticons. And eventually, during the fight, Blitzwing was the first one. The gold colour in him starts to fade. He goes back to his normal colour, and Perceptor realises, look, check it out, Optimus Prime, the Electrum is starting to wear off on the Decepticons. So pretty much one after the other, they start reverting back to their normal colours, and the Autobots now have the upper hand. Like, we can take these guys out. So in short order, the Autobots get the upper hand in the battle, and Megatron, realising what's happened, commands the Decepticons to destroy the Golden Lagoon. If we can't have it, no one else can. So they, in unison, fire all at once into the lagoon, completely destroy it, and retreat back to their headquarters. And of course, Optimus Prime and the other Autobots are celebrating, hands in the air, screaming and getting on. And the final shot of the episode is just this panning shot going around what was the Golden Lagoon. The beautiful scenery is now smoke and broken down trees, and we see Beachcomber sitting there, and he's lamenting the fact that they've won, and he's just like, head down, we won, looking into the crater that used to be the Golden Lagoon. This is a great episode. I think pretty much every Transformer that was introduced in the entire run of the series was in this episode in some shape or form, bar the Constructicons. There's one of them showed up on it, and the Insecticons weren't there, but most of the main characters were there. A lot of the side characters, like probably the most Autobots on screen, were in this episode. Could be wrong about that, but there just seemed to be, in most stories you get this small handful on either side that have the main screen time, but it just seemed to be evenly balanced throughout everyone in this one. Brilliant little episode. And that closing shot of Beachcomber sitting there lamenting has stuck with me for years. Like, I couldn't recall this episode whenever I sat down to watch it this time. And in all fairness, I've had a lot of the DVD box sets that I'm reviewing at the minute. I've had them sitting in the office here for years at this point, but doesn't necessarily mean I've watched all of them up until this point. And this was one of these episodes that was one that I didn't recall, but when I got to the end and we seen that shot of Beachcomber sitting there devastated and heartbroken that nature has taken the brunt of the battle, was something that was just in the back of my head from childhood. So great little episode. Guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, don't forget to turn on that bell icon to be notified of future uploads. And please check out some of the other videos on this channel while you're here.